I'm back in the studio now, and having done the watercolour sketch on location, I'm now going to finish it off in the studio, as I often do with these alfresco works. Right, this is the scene as I painted it outside. I've rubbed out the pencil marks that were a little bit intrusive, and now what I want to do is just soften it a little bit in places, slightly lose the strength of tone on this tree here and on those, so that these trees come forward a bit more. So I'm going to use a sponge for this and just very slightly sort of get rid of that, and then what I do is just damp it with tissue. So I'm just livening this bit up here to suggest some of the sunlight. Sunlight's coming across from the left, of course, so I just want to liven up the sunny side of these trees a little bit. Bottom of the tree and the shadow side. This is a number 6 round sable from Rosemary & Co. They're so beautiful to work with. And the paper, of course, is the Saunders Waterford High White. Absolutely lovely paper to work on. It's the knot surface, and it's one of the blocks. Right, we have another small tree here, which is in a good position because what it's doing, this is ultramarine and some cadmium yellow pale. I'm putting some more just cadmium yellow pale on this side. It's in a good position because what it's doing is going to cast a shadow across the lane. Just to twirl the brush a little bit to get the point really working well. And then what I do sometimes, rather than define the edge too much and have too many hard edges all over the place, I just use a damp brush and squidge it out in that way to let it sort of drift away into the in a sort of amorphous way. Right, and what I'm going to do now is just drop in a touch of cadmium red into this tree here. It just warms it up a little bit, and also because this is the central area, the focal point, it's rather nice to have some warmer colours in there. I'm just going to define this ridge here a little bit more. I don't want to make it too much because it's way into the distance there. And all I want to do is to define that a little bit more. I pulled it out with a damp brush in the beginning, but now I just like to make it a little bit more prominent. That's still too hard an edge there, so what I'm doing with the damp brush is sort of losing that edge in that way. And that creates just a hint of variation in the distance. And so I'm going to work a little bit here, not too much. I want to soften the bottom edge here, and I can do that with a flat brush in this way. And that's a nice way of losing a hard edge. You can just dab it with a tissue and it then looks a lot neater. And I just want to define this roof a bit more. I'm using a number 4 brush with French ultramarine and cadmium red. And what I'm trying to do is to make the roof dark at the bottom so that makes the white wall stand out, but then losing the strength of the tone as I go up, so that I don't lose the top edge of the roof against this dark area. So that's the finished picture, a rather pleasing memory of a wonderful day out on the hills on a sunny day during the coronavirus lockdown. A marvellous antidote to all that.